So here we have the brand new Ormonde Jayne fragrance, and just in time for the summer as well. This one is called Tanger. It has a dry amber, vanilla, rose, cashmere wood, moss, ylang-ylang, orange, and bergamot type of a DNA. This one is fresh, a little floral, but very silky and smooth in the dry down. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a moment, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about the brand new Tanger by Ormonde Jayne, I'm going to talk to you about the notes, the smell, the performance, longevity comparisons, all that good stuff. But before I dive into the review, I just want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content and if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and also give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. So the inside of the box actually comes with this card, and it lists all of the inspiration, the description of the fragrance, and the notes of the fragrance on the inside. So we have ylang-ylang, Italian mandarin, and bergamot in the top. We have rose, cashmere wood, and neroli in the heart. In the base, you have moss, dry amber, Madagascan vanilla, and a balsamic accord, which I think kind of goes hand in hand with the dry amber. But nevertheless, this fragrance is a little floral. It's citrusy, it's bright, it's smooth. It has this refined, silky smooth dry down that I think is really, really nice. One of the things that is sincerely and seriously working in this fragrance's favor. And again, that explosion of citrus in the opening is really what's going to activate that summer freshness that I think we're all kind of seeking right around this time of the year. Nevertheless, I'm going to break down the smell as best as I can. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get a combination of that cashmere wood and the citrus. So this fragrance opens up quite bright. Now, it's not overly tart or juicy or sparkling or anything like that. A lot of times when I review a lot of other citrus-based fragrances, I'll say they're very bright and effervescent. This one is fresh without necessarily being sparkling. I don't know if that makes sense. Like there's this underlying smoothness that cuts away any of that bright, sort of a sharp introduction that you would otherwise get from a very tart and tangy type of a citrus perfume. So it does have the orange, so there's this nice sort of warmth about it. And I think orange has always been one of these warm citrus ingredients as opposed to something like maybe grapefruit, which is a little bit on the tart side of things. And then you also have a lot of like really cool citrus ingredients. And then, petitgrain can be on the woodsy side of things, so on and so forth. But this one has that warm citrusy introduction that is not overly effervescent, but there's this smoothness that accompanies the fragrance. So that dry amber is certainly a contributor. I know it lists moss in the dry down. There's nothing overly earthy or green about this perfume. And moss is one of these ingredients. When I smell it, I know it's there. And I'm not getting a whole lot of it here. Now, the rose and the ylang-ylang, yes, I am getting both of those. I know sometimes ylang-ylang can kind of take a fragrance in a more of a tropical direction. That's not what's happening here. The rose is there. So I would say maybe it's like 70% rose, 30% ylang-ylang. So it definitely has this clean floral heart about the perfume that I think is really enjoyable. But again, that bergamot, the neroli, and that Italian mandarin that is in the opening is really the driving force behind the freshness of this fragrance. The cashmere wood inevitably lends a very strong hand to defining the olfactive aura of this perfume. Now, the other base note is the Madagascan vanilla. Again, there's nothing really sweet about this. So interestingly enough, when we're talking about a dry amber, that in and of itself kind of gives me or sends the message to me that this is not going to feature a prominent vanilla ingredient. Nevertheless, I think this one is smooth, it's elegant. I think it has a nice freshness without being too sharp. And I think this one is going to accommodate to a lot of people's personal tastes. There are a lot of times you see a fragrance like, I know they have another offering called Sakura, which is kind of like this creamy floral perfume. And some people might argue it's a little feminine leaning. And then of course they have an oud offering, which a lot of people might argue is a little masculine leaning. This one is right in the middle, perfectly unisex. So I think the versatility for this one is very, very good. I don't think it's the longest lasting fragrance that the brand has to offer, but I think for the time that you're going to wear it, especially if you're going to wear it during a seasonally appropriate time of the year, I think this one is going to be a hit for you, and I think it's going to be a no-brainer. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this fragrance is unique as far as I'm concerned. It's not the most complex DNA, but it has a lot of ingredients that are working in really nice harmony with one another. Longevity is about 7 to 8 hours on my skin at least. It's going to be contingent upon your pH levels, your own skin chemistry. As far as the projection is concerned, this one projected really well. I want to say for the first 45 minutes of application, slightly beyond an arm's length. I think all of that citrus in here contributes to that, and it became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5. In terms of the versatility, perfectly unisex, great for the hotter weather, so spring and summer. Anybody of any age could enjoy this one. I think it has enough of a freshness that it can be worn casually, but it has that sort of underlying sophistication with the amber and the cashmere wood and the rose that you can wear this formally as well. And as far as the presentation is concerned, the orange bottle definitely puts me in the mindset of oranges as far as the smell or the ingredient is concerned, but it also puts me in the mindset of summer, which I think is really nice. And it's always nice to see a seasonally appropriate release from any brand. My final verdict on this fragrance is it's fresh without being sharp or astringent. It has this smooth, silky, creamy dry down. It is not sweet. And as far as that moss is concerned, it's not overly green. And as far as the floral aspect is concerned, more rose than ylang ylang, but that citrus really does a really nice job in the opening of this fragrance. Tanger by Ormonde Jayne. Let me know what you think of this fragrance if you've had a chance to try it or if you're looking forward to trying it. Drop your comment down below, and of course, if you took anything of value from this video, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you again so much for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.